Hi, if you're looking to get into data science field and don't know where to start, and you're looking how do I even get into this field, or how is it for me or not, or how do I crack a job interview in data science field, or business analyst में होती क्या चीज़ है, and if you want to understand about logistics, how does Amazon, Zepto, all these companies use data science at the end of the day. So today in this podcast we have Prashant from DHL. He's a senior business analyst, and we had a deep conversation about all this, and I'm sure that you'll love this podcast. So today we have Prashant here in the show.
Thank you.
And he's a senior business analyst at DHL, and he is working in the analytics and insights team, and working on a lot of problems in supply chain and e-commerce and everything. So we have a lot to learn from Prashant, and he's also an alumni from IIT Gandhinagar. So we'll have an interesting discussion, and we'll deep into all the different things around the data analytics field,
Sure.
and dive deeper into your journey,
Sure.
and so that it would be very useful for the audience. Okay, so majorly we'll be having three sections. We'll dive deeper into your whole journey.
Okay.
First of all, and then probably in the second part we'll talk about some of the supply chain things specifically, and how is that industry and how are the problems solved. And thirdly, we'll have some advices for the folks like freshers and experienced folks.
Sure.
Okay, so welcome first of all, Prashant.
Thank you so much.
So, okay. So first of all, starting off, I wanted to understand how did you started this data science journey?
Okay.
Did you ever thought when you were in college, let's say you started out with a BTech, right?
Yes.
So you can start out from there. How were your college days, and how did you got to know about data science, and how did you landed up finally in data science in the first instinct? So,
Sure. So I started my BTech in 2012, completed in 2016. So it was BTech in electrical engineering. Then there were placements. I got placed from in the last year of my college, but I also thought to prepare for civil service examination, which is famously called as IAS exam. So I spent 2 years over there. I went to Delhi, I stayed there, and I took a few test series and all, and I spent 2 years over there. But after that I realized maybe this is not where I want to go. That realization comes with time.
Right.
So after that, then I started looking for jobs in corporate jobs mainly. At that time I wasn't sure about data science or data analytics or anything.
Right.
So I was primarily looking for a job, to be very honest, and then and then I landed up a job in GradeUp. Right, so that is an edtech located in Noida. I started working there in community team, and slowly I started also looking for growth of the community as well. That's where I started using a bit of SQL. I was also involved in community operations as well, program management, community operations, and community growth. All of these three things. Then with colleagues over there, and they have become my very good long time family and friends like that. So they suggested me to look after data analytics and data science. Then I started exploring, because they also realized that maybe I might be.
So your first job was not in data science?
My first job was not in pure data science.
Okay.
When I moved into the job,
So
then I started.
It exactly what was
it? Was related to community operations, program management, and community growth. It was not a pure data science, but at later in that job somewhere I started using SQL. So you can consider, SQL is anywhere. You
Right.
do any job, you would require SQL, right?
Because companies store data in databases.
Yes, databases, and we need to access that, right? So whatever interactions that we were having on community, we were storing that in database, and if we want to, query it, get it, so we were using SQL,
Right.
some form of SQL. Then I started looking for jobs after a few months over there. Then I landed a few job offers, joined Hansa Security in Mumbai. That was a MarTech company. I spent 2 months and a few days over there. Then I had to leave it for some personal reasons. somewhere down the line I thought that I realized that data science might not be my field. Okay, then I resigned from the job and I moved to some other industry like coaching industry, and I just started experimenting a few things, teaching and all these things into IT JE coaching and all. So and
That's very different from what you
exactly
are.
exactly so it is a kind of completely different here and there, because somewhere I realized that maybe data science is not my choice.
So this was in the year?
This happened, I joined grade up in 2018 June. This was in 2019 around February. I joined Hansas Equity, and after 2 years and 2 months and a few days, somewhere in May, I resigned and I dropped out of this. Work was really good, which I realized later. Work, tech as well as business was really good, which is quite these days very dense. And but I realized maybe it is not my cup of tea, and I won't be able to stay in this industry. Then I moved to coaching industry, started teaching mathematics and chemistry for IT JE and preparation, that kind of thing I started doing. But I spent there 1 month, and so I moved to other cities like Indore and different places. But then I again realized this is again not the field where I want to be.
Okay.
So then again I started looking for jobs. Then I connected with a lot of people, and thankfully I got some good people to chat, share my concern, get their advice, feedback.
This was online or offline?
This was online as well as offline, over the phones and everything. So, and I am very thankful for that. I think at that time mentors like available on, I guess, on your platform, people did not have I did not have that kind of people available at that time. But I had my personal contacts. I started reaching out to them just for advice, what to do. I wasn't sure what to do, what not to do. Where should I go? Where should I focus my career? I was very depressed and not sure. Then started applying for jobs, created my resume, which was very important. I changed my LinkedIn from a profile having people from coaching industry to people from data science industry. I completely revamped my LinkedIn profile. I completely changed my resume, obviously based on what I did.
So going back, how do you decided कि ठीक है data science ही करना है अभी?
Yeah.
ठीक है coaching कर लिया, थोड़ा सा data science कर लिया, उसके पहले कुछ और भी कर लिया. So you have strings of different things.
Yes.
But how did you decide कि ठीक है नहीं अभी ये तीनों के बाद अभी data science ही?
Yeah. So somewhere down the line, I realized that based on my past experience, I felt that data science or data analytics is the industry where my analytical skills would be used. It's just a matter of few tools that has to be learned, which I can apply to impact on do some impact on business, to do some to bring some changes in the business, right? To contribute towards the business mainly. For other fields like coaching and other, I felt that I again not the fit. I'm not fit for that kind of job, and then I kind of I would be very honest here. I at that time also I wasn't sure that I would be continuing in this industry, right? You can say that I also tried it again once again. You try your luck wherever you go. That's how it was at that time. Then I started looking for jobs. I applied for data analyst, business analyst, product analyst, growth, because I already worked in community growth in GradeUp. I applied for various jobs like this. I got a few job offer, but I then joined DHL Supply Chain as a business analyst. And since then it has been a great journey so far. Today I am the part of DHL Supply Chain, working as a senior business analyst in analytics and insights team. I joined DHL Supply Chain in July 2019, and since then it's been a fantastic journey. I have learned a lot. I have contributed into the business a lot. Personal growth wise, I have grown multiple times. Learning as well has happened, and I have really enjoyed journey so far. So that's about a brief about my career, I would say.
Right. So DHL was the first stint wherein you got to do data science
Yes.
for the whole life cycle.
Yes. So it was the first job where I kind of completed data science project from end to end, starting from scratch, getting the data to end delivery.
Right.
So that you can say.
So I would go depth into that, but before that I want to understand Prashant from the earlier days. So where do you come from? How can you just share about that journey? How did you, because getting to IIT is also not an easy task, right?
Yeah.
So how was your early days? How did you get into IIT?
Sure.
And IIT, you are from IIT Gandhinagar, so what were the, like, when you are in the shoes of a second year, third year person, how do you look at things and what advices do you have? क्या ठीक है ऐसी चीज़ आप उस टाइम पे सोच लोगे तो ज़्यादा better रहेगा.
Sure. So I will keep it in two ways. The one way would be how I felt during that college, and how did I spend, and how I would have spent if I can go back in time. Right. So that's how we will be going forward. So I come from Bihar, Bhagalpur district, Andhra Pradesh. Some of you viewers may be also knowing that. Then I joined IIT Gandhinagar in 2012. I had very strong interest in mathematics, and that is the reason why I could decide in biology and maths. I need to pick maths, right, and not biology. So eventually that took me to the engineering. Right. I joined IIT Gandhinagar in electrical engineering. I wanted to do either electrical or computer science. I got electrical engineering. I spent on working on few projects over there, but I would be very honest that in the first year itself I had introduction to computing, and I did not like that. To be honest, I got 6 out of 10. I did not like that. And I thought that maybe computer science is not the area where I would like to go ahead. But later in second or third year I started liking a MATLAB, right? Doing things over there.
For those of you who don't know MATLAB, like it is a tool which is used by today also by statisticians.
Yes. So MATLAB is basically tools which we use in our engineering days, where we can use to simulate a few things. And like for instance, I am from electrical engineering, so I have worked on cards and chips and all. So you can write codes, and you can flash your code, flash the card with the code whatever you write. So that kind of things we can do. I joined ISRO Ahmedabad for an internship, 2 months of internship. That was really good. I worked on few advanced stuff over there. But nowhere in college I worked on Python or SQL, to be honest. In course, as a separate project, I worked on a few, a project where I used Python, other things. But in a course, I did not take any course. And then because the idea in my idea, how I was seeing my college was, I want to do civil service examination after college. That was the idea. That is the reason why I took IIT Gandhinagar Explorer Fellowship in third year. The internship with ISRO was in second year, and in third year I took IIT Gandhinagar Explorer Fellowship. That is sponsored by college, my college IIT Gandhinagar, where we are supposed to travel across India on an economically you have to travel. You can't take luxury buses, trains. You have to stay in guest rooms, PGs and like that. So I spent 51 days across India.
What is the objective for doing this?
Objective was to understand India better. So we were supposed to pick a theme, right? Idea was to not go to very tourist destination, right? Go to areas where people do not go. Right, so we went to different places. I was accompanied by 2 other members. We were 3 people together from the same batch, and we 3 spent 51 days, and we traveled 15 states across India. We started from Rajasthan, moved all the way to north, then to the UP, Bihar, then northeast. We went to Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh. That's how we got to know about this pass that we need to take. to move to Tawang and other areas. Then we went to south and then western Ghats, and then we came back to college. So it was 51 days. I think out of those 51 days, we spent somewhere around 30 to 40 days on train or bus at night.
Okay.
So it was really a good experience because we wanted to get into, we wanted to become a public officer, public servant, right? So that's what we wanted to become.
Does that experience in any way kind of contribute towards whatever you're doing in data science today?
Yeah, it actually, I would say, that experience definitely made my what I would say personal life
worldview.
Yeah, so actually I would say that experience gave me a better perspective of life, right? I'm not sure if I can quantify that experience in my data science or not, but I would definitely say that it has helped me in becoming a better person.
Right.
That I can definitely say. But even if that did not happen, I might have even moved into data science. That is a different thing. But as a person, I have definitely improved based, having that experience. So that is why I got this into fellowship, and then as I told you that I went for preparation, then I quit, and then I moved to.
So basically, you didn't do a lot of coding when you were in college.
No, I did not do. I did not do any structures, data structures, or I did not do anything. I was the person who was very basic into C and somewhat about Python. I just knew these two things. Nothing, even I wasn't aware about SQL because access to database wasn't, I did not have it. It was just Python doing some here and there. So that's how it was. And even I was not very, expert in that. I was very basic in that case, right? Very basic. Some projects, some people did, and I just did something, how college happens.
And I think a lot of people watching to this are quite better off. And
definitely, 100%.
Well, this can give an inspiration and motivation. Ki,
yes.
Even after not knowing coding when you were in college, even after not understanding where you have to go, you have to switch 3 jobs.
Yes.
But still, you reached up to a destination where you are, into a very good role and doing a lot of solving great problems.
Yes.
I think it's a great inspiration for the folks.
Yeah. But the one thing where I was very interested is mathematics. I would say that if not to a very good level, I was better than average. So although you will see that I may not be getting 10 out of 10 in all the courses, but despite not studying a lot, I got good grades. That's what I can say. Yeah, exactly. So I was interested in this, and this was the case from my childhood. So I had 5 semesters of mathematics in all those semesters, and I was very interested in mathematics.
And that is what data science is
yes,
all about.
That is what it is all about, because I can connect things quite easily from there.
Right. Wonderful to hear that. So moving into some of the data science problems that you are solving. So first of all, I want to understand how is the day in a life of Prashant.
Sure.
How does Prashant spends his day?
Sure. So starting from first after post-COVID, talking about post-COVID, we have moved back to office. We start our day from just listing out the work that we have, what is on priority, what is just prioritizing the things, right? Planning the day and week. Right. And then we move into the projects that I'm doing over there. If some meetings has to be scheduled, or if some deliverables has to be done on an urgent basis, or whatever it is that gets completed. I start working on things, tools that I primarily use. It includes tools like Power BI, Python, SQL, Azure, all these things, REST APIs and all these things I use. Then depending on I am also kind of involved in guiding people in my team to use data science for their for their projects. So if that happens, that I am also involved in that as well, where I guide people over there. Then after that, that's how it goes. Then if it is a delivery day where I have to deliver some projects, then we set some calls, we deliver the projects via slides or whatever it is, and then that's how it goes on. It is kind of quite I would say diverse. Every day is quite diverse. It's not the same that we come here, we do certain things, then take a break and do things. It's not like that. So it's keep on changing on every day, depending on what kind of work I have. On a few days, I might be not having any work. Then usually I go for some research work that I do. We have a lot of initiatives that we do to improve on the process, on the process that we follow, that we do. So I start working on that as well. Usually I spend some bandwidth over there, but if it is free, then I spend more time over there. Some research work and all this, that kind of things we do.
So getting the processes also is right. Whenever you don't have you kind of sharpen the saw.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
right.
You're right.
Wonderful. Okay, so what kind of problems when you just started out with DHL and it was a new company for you? So how was the initial experience first of all for you? Now Prashant as a senior business analyst might be different. But when he entered into DHL, what was the experience like? What was the first project? How did that all?
Sure. So when I entered DHL Supply Chain, I did not have any idea of supply chain, right? But what I had is I can learn things quite easily. And I was damn sure that
so
I would.
For the folks who don't understand supply chain in the first place, can you just?
Okay, sure. So so supply chain is about, if I talk about the overall umbrella of supply chain, and in the terms of the people who are viewing. So in their terms, we can say that supply chain is about picking products from or raw materials from areas where it is developed, and we put it to the manufacturing space. We take it from there and then we put it to warehouses, then from warehouse to another warehouse, then that warehouse to some local within city warehouse, and then that is delivered to our houses. So that is about transport kind of things. But that from one place to another place, that is, you will see that this is movement of goods from one location to other location. But it involves a lot of things. For instance, let's say, how do we keep our products within the warehouse, where it has to be kept, all those things, how to it should be whenever we all or you guys are ordering from Flipkart or Myntra or Amazon or any e-com website you take, then that orders goes in the system, right? And that appears on the screen. So someone has to pick that product from the warehouse or from the storage area where it has been kept, right? Now how that picking happens, and as a supply chain data science professional, we need to also figure out that where we should keep that specific product, so that picking can happen very easily. That is a very complex part of complete supply chain business problems, and I have worked on those things as well. So coming back to, supply chain is basic. You can consider it as a movement, storage, movement of products, storage of products, all these things. And coming back to the problem where I was talking about how I started my journey in supply chain. I was a bit aware about Excel, SQL and Python, as I said earlier. I had the basic to intermediate level of idea in these things because I had cracked 2 to 3 interviews earlier. So I knew Excel and SQL because that's how we crack interviews, right? If you know Excel, SQL and basics of Python, one can crack interview if you present.
So you're talking about business analyst.
Yeah, as a fresher, as a freshman into the data science, if you know Excel, SQL and Python and a bit of analytical minds, I am sure that people can crack if you present your knowledge wisely and in a better way. So that understanding I had, but when it is about applying those knowledge to business, that is a different thing, right? So my recruiter also knew that this guy does not have knowledge in supply chain, but I was sure that I can pick things quite easily, and that's what I also promised. So I started learning in a first few weeks. I kept on learning things into business, what is logistics, what is supply chain, what is warehousing and other things as well. Parallelly, I also started working on tools like learning like Power BI and advance of Excel, SQL, all these things, VBA part, and these things I started learning parallelly. So then so usually where I work right now in DHL Supply Chain, it's a very great organization, I would say. They to give me not complex project, they started with a simple project. In the first instance, I was shadowing someone, means I was not the one who was responsible for the project, but I was just looking at how that person is doing this project. So I was just viewing things from my perspective, how things are being done, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. That thing I was doing, and I spent good time over there. I learned a lot from there. Then I was given a project where I was the sole member to work on that, and I was obviously being supported by my managers and my peers. So that's how I moved forward, and slowly I started gathering knowledge of supply chain and in depth of supply chain basically. Then I started using tools like Python, Azure to automate the process.
So can you just explain what is the life cycle? So basically, what is a specific problem that you took up, which you are given generally, and how do you kind of approach in the whole data science life cycle that you kind of apply on it? So
sure.
How?
Sure. So there are multiple problems where I have worked. I can pick a few. Obviously, I can't take all of these things. Considering time and all. So I can pick up a few. So for instance, let's say, and I will try to relate it with the audience who is ordering a lot on Amazon and Google and Amazon, Flipkart and Myntra, right? So whenever we order, whenever people orders, then what happens is that they orders 10 to 15 products together, right? That goes to some warehouse, right? If audience can just check, if you can check that, if you track your order page, then you will see that it comes from Bhiwandi, right? You must have noticed it, right? It comes from Bhiwandi.
That's a big
warehouse, right? Then what happens is that most of the companies have warehouses over there.
So basically, folks from Maharashtra and Mumbai,
they can relate it, right? Bhiwandi is in Maharashtra. It's in the outskirts of Mumbai towards Nasik, right? So that orders goes into the warehouse. This is very simple view. I am telling it it doesn't happen very in that way, but just a very overall high level view. Now what will happen is that product would be picked from the storage areas, where it has been kept. Right. For instance, I ordered 10 products, then all those products has to be picked from different areas, right? So warehouse would be very large, right? It would have a large space. Then it has to be picked from different locations. It would be clubbed together at one location, at a single location. Now that has to be packed, right? That has to be packed and shipped to the customer. Like that, there would be multiple orders coming in, from other persons as well. Now, where that packing would happen, that would require cartons, right? That requires cartons. Now we need to focus on how we can reduce the number of cartons, how we can bring in a specific size of cartons so that most of the orders can be packed in less number of cartons and can be shipped to the end customer or to the different warehouse, so that whenever we are transferring to one warehouse to other warehouse or warehouse to the end customer, then space in trucks, right, that is also optimized. Right. So carton
it's a optimization
problem, right? So it is optimization problem. So for that, we have used binary algorithms, and there are other machine learning algorithms that goes into the picture, and that I have worked on that kind of products I have worked on. Other problems that I can say is, I was saying that we have a lot of orders that has to be picked from some specific areas. Then now, what would be the strategy to pick it up? For instance, should a picker come and pick whatever orders are there in one order, whatever products are there in one order, pick from all the locations? Or should we club a few orders and then make a list that, okay, so these are the 10 products or 5 products that are at this location, so send one picker to that location, right? And these are the 7 products that is at another location, so send one picker to that location. Okay. So this is just two scenario I told you. There can be multiple scenarios. So there are different ways through which we can do the picking. So what would be the best for a specific warehouse? So it depends on warehouse to warehouse, right? So a warehouse will have its own constraint, right?
Okay, so now that you have talked about the optimization, so what was that?
That was in carton optimization.
Right.
So post that, let's say that we were talking about, we have received a lot of products, orders, which contains, that has to be picked, right? So where we need to keep that products in the warehouse so that picking process can be optimized. So within picking process, there are multiple dimension where we need to focus on. So I talked about one dimension earlier.
Yeah.
This is another dimension where you need to pick, keep the products at what locations.
Yeah.
Right, so that part is in supply chain. It is famously called as slotting. So I have worked on writing slotting algorithms. So that kind of things I have worked on. So solving that kind of business problems. So audience can also relate it to when we go to DMart or any other store.
Right.
Then people might see that things that we pick very frequently or that we buy very frequently, that are kept very close where we can see it quite easily, right? So that is the very basic of slotting. If we extend to another level, then in similar way we can do it in warehouse as well. So that is a very basic understanding that I gave. It becomes very complex and one of the complex part of supply chain logistics and all, right? So that kind of problems I worked on. I have also worked on descriptive analytics of supply chain, because in data science, in any kind of business, descriptive analytics is required because we want to understand what has happened in the past, right? So that kind of things also I keep on doing.
Right. So basically on the optimization front, there are a lot of algorithms in terms of computer science problems.
Yes.
Like there are NP problem, traveling salesman problem,
Yes,
and
yes,
everything.
yes.
Right. So what specific in data science do we do here, or which tools and which kind of algorithms do we use to kind of solve those problems?
So in logistics and in supply chain, you can also use machine learning algorithms like k-means clustering. Like in optimization, we have used k-means clustering. You can use linear programming, single integer linear programming, multi-integer linear programming. That kind of things also can be used to optimize things. You can use genetic algorithm to work on optimization problem to basically solve carton optimization and things like that.
Colony optimization.
Yes. So there are various kind of algorithms, optimization algorithms and models that can be built, and depending on what kind of business, what kind of solutions are required, we try to use that kind of algorithms and things like that.
So I think business analytics and data science is so crucial because today we have that data.
Yes.
So ठीक है, पहले जैसे भी हो रहा था, but now we have that data all there. So we have to optimize because business would make more profit if you optimize that.
Yes. Right. So जितने भी e-com और जितने भी deliveries, storing, storage, in all that kind of cases, if we can optimize few processes, it will save a lot in business, right? So that's where people are focusing on. People are also focusing on how we can use machines and robots कैसे हम लोग use कर सकते हैं to improve the efficiency.
In logistics today, a lot of things.
Yeah, it has a lot of things. So audience who are seeing in the video, just go ahead and watch some videos on YouTube. आपको दिखेगा कि कैसे advanced technology use करते हैं within warehouse and other
Recently,
things.
I think there was a unicorn company also came up who was just focusing on logistics robot making.
Yes.
And
So there is a company called as Locus. You can also, some people who are watching, they can go ahead and watch the videos of Locus, कैसे Locus use होता है, and others, बहुत सारे other other companies भी हैं. काफ़ी टाइम फ्लिपकार्ट के वेयर हाउसेस देखने में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होता है, हाउ दे आर डूइंग इट, राइट? सो इट्स रियली गुड.
And nowadays we are taking this to all the next level. 14 minutes delivery, 20 minutes delivery.
Yes. So when it comes to 40 minutes delivery or 10 minutes delivery, like Zepto is doing and other firm is doing. So I haven't worked with these kind of organization, but what I believe also is they use this optimization problem a lot, like route optimization, warehouse optimization. That kind of problems are that kind of technologies and algorithms are being used heavily to deliver on time.
Right.
So it is really interesting to work on these things.
Right. Okay, so a lot of things in logistics. So this is major logistics. The whole this thing is mainly used for e-commerce kind of companies.
No, it can be used for e-com, retail, or anything, right? It's not only e-com. It can
so
be used
DHL as a core is kind of company which.
So DHL is a kind of parent company.
Okay.
Within that, you have DHL Supply Chain. You have DHL. You have DHL who looks into the transport locations, transport spaces. You have many. I mean, there are many sister companies as a part of DHL. So it has. You talk about any branch of supply chain logistics management, DHL would be there. So it's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand the whole. If you can share that. What is the kind of tech team that DHL has, and what part of it is the analytics team?
Mm-hmm.
And in analytics team, what is the org structure generally? Like, so people can understand कि ठीक है इतने सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स होते हैं तो इतने डेटा एनालिस्ट होते हैं इतने बिजनेस एनालिस्ट होते हैं.
Yeah, so it depends on company to company, and it is also available on public site as well. There is DHL IT team who looks after IT part of DHL. We are the part of DHL Supply Chain, this analytics insights team, a part of DHL Supply Chain who looks after who is the kind of powerhouse to provide data science backed solution to different regions across the world. So.
Right.
And there are different arms where you have center of excellence, where you have different teams who are working across the region. So we are into this, and we are the part of center of excellence team over here.
Got it. So business analytics versus a machine learning engineer, or let's suppose a data analytics, or other roles that we have, data engineering and as such. So can you just draw parallels? What differentiates a business analyst and what kind of traits that he has, and what other data science professionals?
Yeah. So this is a very subjective question, I would say, that at least from my perspective, what I see is when you are working in the domain of business analytics and or data analytics, then you have a very good you should have a very good understanding of business as well as data tools, right? So you are going to deliver business intelligence to your client, customer, or the team. So you need to know business, you need to know how to deliver that output, so you need to know the tools and processes. When it comes to machine learning engineer, it goes to another level where you are using different models, algorithms to solve again business problems.
So he's farther away from the business.
Yes.
He's more technical.
Yes. What I would say is when people begins, then you begin as a business analyst or data analyst, then eventually, obviously you can begin as a data scientist. I'm not saying that you can't, but in India, what happens is that when you are a fresher or when you are just trying to get into data science or data analytics, most of the jobs that are available for business analyst or data analyst or simple analyst or product analyst, right? For freshers and having a few years of experience, and that's how I also started.
Right.
Then you move into the other next step where you become senior business analyst, senior data analyst, or maybe data scientist, and different roles like analytics manager or things like that, right? So it happens step by step, and there you start applying algorithms and machine learning algorithms or optimization algorithms to solve business problems. Data engineer is completely different. I keep it completely different because that data engineer is all about writing, getting data from multiple platforms in an optimal way in a matter of very few seconds, bring it in a one lake or one view, and then that can be used by other data science professionals. So from my perspective, I keep data engineer as separate from business analyst or data analyst or data scientist or things like that. However, the transition is very much possible from business analyst to data engineer or other way as well. So transition is for me, I think that transition, if you want to do something, transition is anyway any day doable.
Right. So generally, as you already mentioned, that early professional as a business analyst, you must know SQL, Python, bit
Yes.
of Excel.
Yes.
And what generally you might be hiring folks in business analyst, right?
Yeah.
So what all different things that you look in a candidate
Yeah.
that you hire?
Sure. So as a person who is looking to get into data science or data analytics field, what I would suggest is be very clear with Excel, SQL, and basics of Python. I won't say that you learn all concepts of Python. If you can do that, is really good. But people need to optimize on time as well. You need to focus on ROI as well, return on investment. So even if someone doesn't know very advanced concepts of Python, it should not be a problem. But people should know Excel, SQL, some business knowledge, and then most importantly communication skills, right? People do not focus on communication. What you know, if you can't communicate, then that's not going to be very good, or it won't be received well by your recruiter. So if people focus on communication skills, soft skills, and technical skills like Excel, SQL, and a bit of Python, and obviously statistics is quite important. We ignore statistics, but so a bit of statistics is also required over there, like mean, median, mode, central tendency, deviation, matrix, confusion matrix. ये सब चीज़ें 4 to 5 things if someone knows, then it is going to be really good. And in addition to this, I would also suggest to learn either Power BI or Tableau. Sometimes a lot of jobs are available where these tools are also in focus, so people can get into that job and then learn again.
Job role and BI developer.
Yes, BI developer. Yes. So and it's very easy, fun to learn Tableau and Power BI or Power BI. Just focus on anyone, Tableau or Power BI, anyone. And people should can get a job. So I will summarize. First, Excel, quite important. Nothing is possible without Excel. Then SQL, right? Focus on SQL, not just doing join. People should focus on advanced concepts like subqueries, window functions, quite important window functions, and some other clause, some standard questions that are there, that are being asked. So focus on those things. Then basics to intermediate level of Python, right? How to write a few code to do certain tasks.
Pandas, NumPy.
Yeah, pandas, NumPy. Yes, if you are given a list, let's say for example, if you are given a list, then how you extract even numbers out of it, or duplicate values out of it, or things like that, right? Those kind of basic things that should be known. Till I think function and a bit of object-oriented programming, if someone knows, that should be okay. So these are the 3 things. Then basics of maths and statistics, right? So that is the 4th one. And then Power BI or Tableau, anyone, right? Power BI or Tableau. So 5th. 6th would be business knowledge. So let's say if someone is going to apply in supply chain, so he or she should have the knowledge of supply chain, logistics, and that domain.
It is a basic
level. So it's available on internet, right? If you are going to apply for some edtech company, right? Advertisement company, so you need to know that business. You need to know, if you are going to apply for e-com, you need to know that business.
Because at the end of the day,
you're going to solve the business, right? So if you do not know the business, why would they hire you? So that is the 6th.
You might before saying that ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो फिर you might end up going in the wrong place.
Yes, exactly. आप गलत जगह चले जाओगे तो फिर आप वहाँ पे अपना टाइम भी वेस्ट कर रहे हो और कंपनी का भी टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो, right? So it's not only about getting a job that anyway you will get, but what will happen after you get into the job, right? So it's also important. So this is the 6th one. And 7th is very important, communication skills. People do not focus on communication skill and they miss on the job opportunity. So I think 6 to 7.
So basically, for a tier 1 or tier 2 kind of a candidate, it's pretty much simple, because ठीक है, resume में you have an IT tag or something, और कुछ अच्छे college के, then it's easier for you to kind of crack. But let's say from a person who's coming from a tier 3 background, and what advices, special advices do you have?
So I would like to interrupt here. सो टीयर 1 और टीयर 2 तभी तक अप्लीकेबल होता है जब आप कंटिन्यूटी मेंटेन करते हो. लाइक माई सेल्फ व्हेन आई हैड अ गैप इन बिटवीन, सो वो ना उसका इफेक्टिवनेस थोड़ा कम हो जाता है. ठीक है, सो दैट्स व्हाट आई फेल्ट. सो इट्स नॉट अबाउट, आई वुड से दैट एक समय के बाद ना आपका स्किल्स मेनली देखा जाता है, आपने क्या किया क्या नहीं किया, इफ़ यू कैन आंसर क्वेश्चंस और नॉट. सो आई वॉज क्विज्ड अ लॉट अबाउट why are you leaving UPSC, you know, आप 2 साल ही किए हो, अभी आप आके यहाँ पे भी करोगे क्या? So you have to, you know, convince your recruiter that whatever you want to, I'm not saying that you want what you want to do, whatever it is, you have to convince them, right? You have to, you know, whatever you have inside आपको बाहर लेके आना पड़ेगा. So irrespective of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but somewhere I would agree that if some people who are from elite colleges, you know, so called elite college, you know, so उनको थोड़ा easy होता है, because first step क्या होगा? shortlisting. So recruiter क्या करेंगे? filter elite college. तो वहाँ पे 50 में से वो 8 आए, चलो इसको इंटरव्यू करते हैं. सो वो वाला स्टेप थोड़ा इजी हो जाता है, राइट? सो दैट स्टेप इज, आई एग्री ऑन दिस पार्ट. बट ठीक है, इफ यू हैव स्पेंट योर कॉलेज टाइम इन कॉलेज, यू कांट गो बैक एंड चेंज इट, राइट? सो वो फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट. what you are going to do next is of prime importance, right? So now as a, you know, a beginner in data science, or if you are looking for a job, even if it is a beginner or you know, experienced, or if someone is looking for job, make your digital image. Digital image means what? Photoshop में जाके image नहीं. You people have to come and create image, you know, image on LinkedIn. एक अच्छा सा optimized LinkedIn profile बनाओ. नौकरी पोर्टल है, you know, job portals है like नौकरी, IM Jobs, InstaHire, Angel.co, and there are many others as well. It's just 4 to 5 that I know. There can be others as well. वहाँ पे आप जाके एक optimized profile बनाओ, right? Optimized सब कोई profile बना सकते हैं, but you have to go there and actually make you know, few things like you have to put up your professional photo, put up things very specific keywords. जो होता क्या है, फिर सर्च करेगा recruiter, they will search, your profile should be coming up in their filters, so that you should have some specific keyword over there. Then people should also focus on how to write a good mail, right? When people apply for jobs, भेज दो बस एक, यू नो, हाँ, कोल्ड मेलिंग के टेक्निक्स आने चाहिए, बस भेज दो या मेरे को जॉब दे दो, मतलब मीन्स ऐसा नहीं होता. आई हैव सीन पीपल नॉट डूइंग थिंग्स प्रॉपरली, सो शुड बी फोकस्ड ऑन दैट एज वेल एंड कीप ऑन अप्लाइंग. व्हेन यू फेल, डू नॉट गेट डिमोटिवेटेड, प्रिपेयर, लिस्ट डाउन कि क्या क्या पूछा था मेरे से, यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर इट अगेन. रेज्यूमे, व्हेन यू आर people are applying, they should, you know, craft resume every time you are applying for jobs, है ना, अलग अलग जॉब के लिए. मैं जब जॉब सर्च कर रहा था, व्हेन आई वाज सर्चिंग फॉर जॉब्स, आई यूज्ड टू क्रिएट डिफरेंट फोल्डर्स, एंड वहाँ पे मैं थोड़े थोड़े चेंजेस करता था. फॉर इंस्टेंस, मैंने 6-7 प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, कैपेस्टन प्रोजेक्ट्स इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग, छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स किए हैं. अभी मैं सप्लाई चेन का जैसे प्रोजेक्ट किया, राइट? अभी अगर मैं सप्लाई चेन कंपनी में अप्लाई करूंगा तो आई कैन कीप दैट इन माई रेज्यूमे. सभी में 6-7 नहीं रख, जस्ट 2-3. इफ आई एम गोइंग टू अप्लाई इन ई कॉम एंड इफ आई हैव डन दैट प्रोजेक्ट, ई कॉम कंपनी का प्रोजेक्ट, उससे रिलेटेड, तो मैं वो डालूंगा. आप वो नहीं डालना है जो कि हमने नहीं किया है, बट हमने बहुत सारे किए हैं, तो कुछ डाल के स्पेसिफिक डाल. सो दैट हैज टू बी क्राफ्टेड वेल.
इन द शूज ऑफ द रिक्रूटर एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो क्या चाहता है आपसे.
एग्जैक्टली. सो एंड देन कवर लेटर अच्छा होना चाहिए. काफ़ी टाइम के बाद आपने मेल कर दिया, रिज्यूमे देखने का टाइम नहीं होता, बट वो कवर लेटर में अगर अच्छा लगे कि यार हाँ, मेल में कुछ अच्छा लिखा है, सब्जेक्ट अच्छा है, यू नो, सो वो थोड़ा, यू नो, इट अट्रैक्ट्स. वो होता है कि यार खोल के देख लेते हैं इसका. हाँ, लोग मैंने देखा है अप्लाई कर रहे हैं एक्स कंपनी में, नाम वाई कंपनी का है, सो वो सब भी चीज़ें फॉरवर्ड कर देते हैं रेज्यूमे कि भाई मेरे को जॉब दे दो, मैं तो बैठा हुआ हूँ यहाँ पे. सो दैट डजंट वर्क. सो कोल्ड ईमेलिंग हैज़ टू बी, यू नो, वेल एंड known well, and then skills तो by work करना ही है, no, you know,
no shortcut for that.
Yeah,
right,
no
right.
shortcut.
So what are some of the soft traits which you have seen क्या successful business analyst और data analyst में ये कुछ soft traits होते हैं generally, and that makes you a very successful person in this particular field?
Okay, so I think attention to details is quite important. When you talk with your customer, client or your team, you have to give attention to the details.
Right.
what is their pain point, right? When you are connecting with them, if you are understanding their pain points or not, that is one of the very important things. Another thing is documentation, quite important, because you might have discussion at one point of time and later you may forget, right? So documentation is quite important. Clear cut communication, because if there is transparency, then workflow project would be delivered on time. So if there is, you are not very clear with the communication, you are not being transparent, then that is not going to be of help, right? So that is there. Then obviously presentation skills, you have to present your output to the customer, client. Explanation skills, how you connect, how you are connecting your solution to the problem that they had. You can't just do something and दे दिया, ऐसा नहीं होगा. You have to connect that this is what your problem was and this is the solution that I have and why this solution fits your problem, solution to your problem. That has to be explained very properly. So that's why I suggest कि एक video है YouTube पे, why start with why by Simon Sinek. Yeah, Simon Sinek. It's a very good video. I have gone through his book as well. एक book भी start with why. I have gone through his book and I keep on watching his video. So very good video, and I would suggest people to watch that and follow that. Not watching is not just important. Following that is also.
Because everything has a purpose.
Yes.
And उस purpose के around अगर चीजें नहीं होंगी, then everything is
of no use. Yeah, exactly.
So one you said attention to detail, the second one was
documentation, communication, transparency. So these are the traits that people should focus on. And obviously technical skills, those are the separate things, but soft traits are these things.
And obviously business understanding.
Yes, business understanding is for sure. That has no other option.
Right. So how do I understand, am I a good fit for business analyst and data analyst? Let's say I'm in my second year.
Yeah.
And now I'm just in the market to see what is the right career for me. So how do I explore कि okay ठीक है ये चीज़ मेरे लिए है या नहीं है?
Yeah. So being in, as I was telling you that I would take two ways. One, how I spent college time and how I would have spent if I can go back in time. Right. So now it is about how I would have spent if I go back in time.
Right.
So being in college, I would say that explore all the areas. It's not only about business analyst or software engineering or any other field. Explore all the areas. Spend time on exploring things, be it data science. If you are sure that you want to get in data science, assuming that you have become sure that you want to get in data science, then what you need to do is you need to start exploring on different business. For instance, you need to understand what is e-com, what is retail, what is supply chain, what is how data science can be applied in VFSI, which is finance side, banking, finance and insurance, right? You need to also understand how data science can be applied in health industry. Right. So there are various industries. Try to understand how we can use data science and data analytics to deliver something, to solve some business problems in these industries.
Right.
एक बार वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो गई, then you will be able to list down, okay, इसमें मेरा इंटरेस्ट इतना है, इसमें इतना है, इसमें इतना है, right? So then you can go ahead and pick few of those industries. Obviously कोई एक नहीं होगा कि मुझे इसी में जाना है. List down 2 to 3 industries. Usually what I have seen is during this time, in 2022, I believe that in India there are a lot of jobs available for BTech graduates or BCom graduates or BCA, MCA graduates, or these degrees, after these degrees, into e-com and retail and finance, right? अगर आप सप्लाई चेन में जा रहे हो तो you should have some supply chain knowledge or some degrees. That's what I have seen. Sometimes if you have knowledge, then you can also be picked up into these domains as well. But on a large scale, I'm saying, I'm not generalizing, but I'm saying on large scale, इन सब में जॉब ज़्यादा है. So retail, e-com, BFSI and finance, इन सब में ज़्यादा है.
These are the sectors.
Sectors.
Right. So basically sectors तो secondary आते हैं, वो तो लोगों को समझ भी नहीं आते कि क्या होता है. But उसके पहले की ठीक है, अभी business analyst है, there is machine learning engineer, there is web development, there is cyber security. ये सारी चीजें हैं market में for a computer science professional.
Yes.
So how do I understand कि मेरे लिए क्या है बिजनेस एनालिस्ट, हाउ डू आई मतलब गेट टू नो कि यार बिजनेस एनालिस्ट करना चाहिए या फिर ये करना चाहिए या फिर ये करना चाहिए.
Okay, so in this case, what I would say is this again has to be explored. Without exploring, it would be really tough to pick up a career. As I told you, in the beginning, that I explored various areas after my UPSC journey, right? So again, if you can do this exploration, or if people can do this exploration in college, it's going to be really helpful. So to explore things, pick up for instance, if you think that I can get into app development, go ahead and pick up some projects where you develop some apps for some business or something in your company. For instance, scheduling the classes for professors. Just taking one example, pick up iOS development or Android development and and create a tool or create an app that helps of professors in scheduling classes pretty easily. Right? Just taking an example. Web development, if you want, just pick up any what I would say is anything like cultural secretary or any programs.
So basically do that.
Yes, that has to be done. Yes. If someone wants to get into business analysis, right? Business analyst, go ahead and get some internship in second year, first year, third year, or any semester, and explore that, right? If you want to get into program management, go ahead and get a job in last semester, right? That has to be explored, and once explored, then you have to list it down. For instance, I explored ISRO internship, right? Then I realized that maybe I'm not looking for that kind of work for my rest of the career. I again explored other areas as well after BTech. Then, as I told you, that it was here and there. So that has to be explored.
Right.
If not explored, it would be really tough to pick one.
Right.
So that is college all about. That's why they give time to do internship. That's why they give time to do projects and all, right? Short project, large projects, all these things are there.
You'll be glad to know that we are kind of working on towards solving this kind of a problem.
Okay, that's good.
So we are calling it Career Planner, and which will be on production very soon in next 1 month or so.
Okay.
So wherein like folks like you who are in the colleges in the second year, third year, are not able to understand कि ठीक है क्या करना है, ये सारी चीजें हैं कंप्यूटर साइंस में. And exploration के लिए अगर time देना है तो सब कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते पूरा.
Yes, right.
Because obviously
limited time है.
कुछ चीज़ें अब मतलब रह जाएंगी, आप नहीं कर पाओगे एक्सप्लोर. सो मैनेजमेंट में इतनी सारी चीज़ें हैं, टेक में इतनी सारी चीज़ें हैं. सो वी हैव मेड अ काइंड ऑफ अ करियर प्लानर काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग इन करियर डिस्कवरी. सो द इकिगाई फ्रेमवर्क पे इट इज बेस्ड अपॉन व्हाट यू लव एंड व्हाट द मार्केट नीड्स एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड इट कंबाइंस एवरीथिंग कि यार ठीक है इसके इतने जॉब्स हैं मार्केट में. So we are taking a test first of all, kind of taking your traits. ठीक है आपके इंट्रिंसिकली ट्रेट्स क्या हैं. हार्ड स्किल्स तो कोई भी डेवलप कर सकता है, बट देयर आर सम इंट्रिंसिक ट्रेट्स व्हिच यू ऑलरेडी हैव व्हिच यू कैन नॉट मतलब जनरली वो बिल्ड करना डिफिकल्ट होता है. दैट इज सॉफ्ट,
वो बॉन्ड होता है,
राइट. सो काइंड ऑफ टेकिंग दैट इनटू पिक्चर एंड काइंड ऑफ रिकमेंडिंग कि यार ठीक है ये 2-3 चीजें हैं जो आप ज्यादा एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो, एंड देन काइंड ऑफ मेकिंग यू अंडरस्टैंड कि ठीक है, क्योंकि कुछ लोग क्या है कि ठीक है साइबर सिक्योरिटी में चले गए बट पता चला कि यार इसमें तो जॉब्स ही बहुत कम है. दैट यू रियलाइज लेटर. So kind of understanding it, holistically understanding that particular domain is also very important when you're committing towards it. कि गलत जगह पे आप time waste ना करो, right? So that is the step 2, and then step 3 we are trying to as you said कि experimenting is also very important. So we are trying to give a 7-day a whole journey wherein you can explore that field in
different
a
things.
glimpse, so that you understand कि ठीक है ये 7-8 चीजें मैंने explore की, and this is the 2 things that I'm good at, and let me now pursue my career into that. So that's
good to know. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that is going to be of great help to people who are into different stages of their career. Be it college or even after that as well. I'm not sure how you would plan to release it, but it's going to be of great help.
Right, Prashant. So I think that is very important. Okay, so also I want to understand, as you told that you had talks with some people about your career and everything. So I want to understand from your perspective, what is the role of a mentor in one's journey into their career and everything. So
okay, so I think a mentor would be of a kind who understand the other person, right?
And also I just want to understand कि ठीक है mentor तो बहुत हमें पता है, but mentor exactly what kind of a mentor should one kind of try to find, and मतलब क्या look करना चाहिए in one's mentor.
Got it. So from my perspective, what I feel is a mentor should understand the other person technically, their capabilities, their strong areas, their weak areas personally, इन सब चीज़ों में भी वो complete understanding होनी चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि बस प्रोफेशनली हम जान रहे हैं और ख़त्म हो गया अपना, मतलब whatever work has to be done, उसके बाद once that is done, that's over. It should not be that way. The mentor should know the weak areas, strong areas, so that they can suggest whatever is better for them. And the mentor should also have understanding of industry as well. Different industries, किस इंडस्ट्री में क्या है नहीं है, कहाँ पे कितना ग्रोथ कर सकते हैं, किस टाइप के वर्क्स हैं, वो सभी चीज़ें. Second thing is you asked about how mentors, and the other thing was
what should I look into?
What should I look as a mentee? What should I look into the mentors? So as a mentee, I think mentee should look in mentors that की experience उसको है कि नहीं है, past experiences.
Anyone can give you suggestions.
Yeah, exactly. So क्योंकि if mentors has diverse experience, then they can definitely suggest better ways. What I believe is, if people have I would not say failed, but in people's term, in generic term, I would say people who have failed. But I would like to rephrase it in a way that if people have experience into diverse field and they have settled into some specific field right now, that those kind of people can be a great mentors, because that person has seen many phases of life, good, bad, this industry, that industry, switch, failures, success, all these things, and they can definitely guide people really well. And more importantly, I also believe that people who have created their career on their own, those people are going to be of great help, because they know how to start from zero to get to a certain level. So people who directly came from college and they have moved to a very good level, they can be also a mentor. But people who did not have any support and they went to become to do something good, then I think that person is to be a kind of gold and diamond as a mentor.
Got it. So Prashant, if I ask you probably, okay, Prashant ke liye, what are the 3 things that he thinks is the most important lessons in terms of his career that he has kind of learned, which he wants to share to the people, so that they don't do these mistakes, or probably ये चीज़ें ध्यान में रखना, this is the most important thing in life.
Okay, all right. So first thing that I would like to say is, in college, focus on your studies, right? Do not spend a lot time on activities that are apart from your academics, because once academics gone, you can't make any changes in that. You can do fun, you can do activities later, but if you skip on your academics, if you do not build your good scores, that is going to be of no use later, or you can't make changes. So that I would say that, because I do not have a very high GPA, right? So I can't go back and change it now, right? I can't do that. So that is the one thing that has to be.
Does GPA matters?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Right. For instance, you have completed your BTech, right? You want to do MS or MBA. Won't they consider your GPA? They would consider, right? They are going to calculate your scores based on GPA. Now the other part is that the GPA only thing जो कि आपको करियर में आगे ले जा सकता है? वहाँ पे I would say no. Right? Even if you have less GPA, you can do really good in your career. But if you have good GPA, then it makes your life easy. Right? This complete thing is very important, and not just one thing. If you have good GPA, then your life is going to be easy. कहीं पे filtering होता है, आपको 9 CGPA चाहिए, 8 CGPA चाहिए. अगर आपको नहीं है उतना, even if you are missing with 0.05, then you are going to miss the bus. Right? So उस process में because you are going to begin your career. उसके बाद certain stage के बाद फिर उतना matter नहीं करता. But yes, at certain point of time,
balancing is very important, because आजकल कुछ ऐसा है कि ठीक है, you should have only skills और academics इतना matter नहीं करता. But what you're saying is कि balance
both side. क्योंकि अगर आप 10 CGPA लेके आ गए हो, अगर आपको कुछ नहीं आता, skills you do not have, then that is not going to be But what I would also suggest is just do not focus on skills कि ये सब करना है, academics तो हो ही जाएगा. I would say that give more weightage on academics than on activities and skills. क्योंकि बहुत ख़राब मत करो, around 8 के आसपास रखो, 8.5, क्योंकि if someone wishes to go for MS abroad or MBA, then a good CGPA is of really good help. So that's what I would suggest. So that is the one thing. Second thing is that during college, explore things quite actively, right? Again, that part of academics. Do not sit back in your rooms and just spend time here and there.
Explore as in?
Exploring means different areas of career and life, right? So that is important. Whether you want to, what kind of career you wish for, right? You want to go for MA, MBA, MS, MA, UPSC, government job, private job. Whether if it is private job, then what kind of job you are looking. If it is government, what kind of jobs you are looking. So keep on exploring things and settle down for some specific areas where you want to focus. ऐसा नहीं हो कि 4 साल बस एक्सप्लोर में ही निकल जाए, ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए, राइट? क्योंकि बहुत काफ़ी लोग करते हैं कि अभी तक तो एक्सप्लोर ही कर रहा था, अब कुछ करते हैं, राइट? सो इट शुड नॉट हैपन दैट वे. स्पेंड टाइम, टॉक विथ पीपल, टॉक विथ योर सीनियर्स, राइट, जो कि काफ़ी एक्टिव है चीज़ों में. ट्राई टू बिल्ड a good rapport with your seniors who can help you in tough times. अगर वो 1-2 सीनियर भी ऐसे रहे ना, तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी रियली इजी फॉर रेस्ट ऑफ द करियर, कंप्लीट लाइफ. गुड नेटवर्किंग इज क्वाइट इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड गुड नेटवर्किंग में फिर हम लोग कहते हैं कि चलो यार इसके साथ रेस्टोरेंट जा रहे हैं तो ये नेटवर्किंग, वो नहीं है नेटवर्किंग, राइट? That would be the networking when you also discuss other stuff with that person as well, right? So सभी चीज़ें उनके साथ डिस्कस कर सकते हो. उस टाइप के 2-3 लोग आपको मिल जाए ना, तो लाइफ इज ऑल सेट, राइट? And then
also wanted to sorry to Baj, so you talked about कि ठीक है हमें पता होना चाहिए कि यार ठीक है UPSC करना है, MS करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. So it's a complicated decision. So you went ahead and tried to do UPSC. So what is your understanding about this whole thing, and what is your conclusion on this?
Yeah, so UPSC is going for UPSC. This decision is quite a heavy decision. It is not an easy decision. My take is that if after just the college, if you can spend 3 to 4 years on your UPSC preparation, and you have prior knowledge of certain things like polity, history, geography in your college, and you have studied a few things out of your interest. It won't be taught in some courses, right? Just out of your interest, you bought some books and gone through that. If you are thinking that yeah, this is of my interest and I can learn these things, then I would say that go ahead and get into that. But your future perspective से भी आपको ऐसा होना चाहिए कि हाँ यार, I want to do something for the country, है ना? In the sense we all are doing something for the country, but as a public servant if you want to do something for the country or not. अभी online media में online and media and जो भी online world, इसमें ऐसा दिखाता है कि the life of public servant is quite cozy, right? It may or it may not be, depends on where you are posted, what kind of work you are doing. So people need to explore both the sides. कितना efforts जाता है आपका 3 to 4 years आपने दिया, उसमें अगर नहीं निकलता है तो क्या करोगे? 6 साल होते हैं. There are certain rules. There are certain rules for general career 6 years, 6 attempts. So वो सभी चीज़ें भी देखना होता है. After that, if you can continue being in the system and delivering it, आप सिस्टम में रह के डिलीवर कर सकते हो कि नहीं, सिस्टम के नेगेटिव साइड, पॉजिटिव साइड के बहुत सारी चीज़ें देखनी पड़ती है. इट्स जस्ट नॉट द डिसीजन कि यार मेरे को तो IAS बनना है, मुझे गाड़ी मिलेगा और मैं तो और IAS तो बनना आसान है, 100-150 सीट होती, एक ही सीट तो मुझे चाहिए. सो जज्बातों में डिसीजन नहीं लेना है, पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव साइड देख के देन डिसीजन लो. टॉकिंग अबाउट माई सेल्फ, I was really interested in being the part of system and doing something for the country, which anyway I am doing it, but as a public servant I wanted to do, be it IAS, IPS, IRS or IRTS or whatever it is. But I spent 2 years. I had my own few personal commitments, made in my life. So I wanted to pursue that, and then that is the reason why I would say I made a decision to leave it. Right? I obviously cleared a few things, in different stages of exam, not in UPSC but in other areas as well. But I would say that I made a decision to go back in corporates and continue, continue to contribute towards the country being in corporate career. Right. And one thing I would like to say is the journey towards selection, or towards UPSC means IS, I am saying, towards that, whether to go for or opt out of it or continue or not, it's very subjective, and it can't be same for all the people, right? It would be very different, because we used to be in a stage जहाँ पर कि आपको पर्सनल कमिटमेंट्स, आप पर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़, करियर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़, बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती है, एंड उन सब चीज़ों को देख के डिसीजन लिया जाता है, एंड इट कांट बी जस्टिफाइड जस्ट बाय करियर डिसीजंस की करियर में ऐसा नहीं था, ऐसा किया, बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती है, इसकी वजह से होता है वो. दैट्स हाउ.
And we see कि आजकल मतलब like बिहार, there are some states specifically which focus on government, बाकी लोग तो corporate वाले route generally they take up, and they are not aware of क्या ठीक है ऐसी भी चीज़ होती है. Lot of kids in maybe in the cities, they don't look it as a good option also. So what is the reason, or what is your perspective on this कि government versus this or ये versus this?
यार देखो, when we talk about areas like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and other areas who looks after civil service examination and other government examination, it has got relation with socio-political concern as well, which I won't like to get into that, but I believe that it comes from where we are brought in, right? आपका वहाँ का माइंडसेट क्या है. समटाइम्स पीपल अराउंड यू ऑल्सो वॉन्ट यू टू बिकम a civil servant who can contribute towards for the people being a civil servant, and they might not be aware of how we can contribute for the country being in the corporate. They means your neighbors, your families, your colleagues, your friends. That might be one of the reason why they are saying you that you become public servant and contribute to the country. So that is the lack of information. That might be the reason why they are saying this. But अभी क्या हो गया है कि you have a lot of information on internet, so there is source of information has increased. People are realizing that government job ही सिर्फ एक job नहीं है. There are lot of ways through which you can contribute towards for the people in the country. So for example, I am into corporate, you are also into corporate. You go ahead and in your free times go work for some NGOs, or you can also, I have my friend who is my flatmate as well. He is working with government of Maharashtra and UNICEF, and he is into social development sector. They are also using data analytics over there, and he is working over there, and it has got very good impact. So recently Har Ghar Tiranga, right? Right, and he is into Poshan Abhiyan and lot of things. He there is a very good impact he has created among the among different families who are not so, I would say that financially, who are not so strong, and he is working with ministers, IS officers, IPS officers, and many people, right? So there are multiple ways, and he also did not know that this could also happen, and I also did not know, and we both prepared UPSC together in Delhi, right? So you see how career goes. So things has to be explored, and there are multiple ways through which you can contribute to the system and country, right? That's so today, if I am here, if tomorrow if I want to contribute, then I might go back to my my natives or anywhere, and I can open a hospital and I can contribute as well. For that I would need finance, but then I would also need to know how data science can help me in solving health problems. This is possible, and people are working on such kind of problems. Just go, people who are watching, you just go ahead on internet and just do a quick search how health industry is utilizing data science, and it's been very well driven, right? It's very good.
So there are a lot of unexplored things,
areas
which we don't know about. कि
Yes.
government में भी इस तरीके से use होता है.
Yes.
Right? Government of India uses also in so many different or the other ways.
Yes,
so
yes.
many healthcare things, because these things are not glorified by the media. Like
Yeah.
ठीक है, the FANG में job, that is what is glorified on YouTube.
Yes,
and
yes.
But this all areas are not glorified.
Yes.
But these are the areas where you can create impact and you'll be very satisfied. It
Yes.
will be a very satisfying career.
Yes,
for
it's
you
worth satisfying. Yes, there are many areas where even in government as well, data science is being used by many things. Recently, you must be going through the news where IRCTC is possibly going to work on the trips that we had in past, so that they can bring on demand trains. Right, because they will understand the behavior of travel, and then they will say that okay, it's location पे इस train की ज़रूरत है, so they can bring it over there, so that waiting and all those things can be reduced. So data science का application day by day it's going on increase, and that is the reason why the third point that I was going to say is people need to learn each and every day. ऐसा नहीं है कि डेटा साइंस में आगे अरे यार अब तो ठीक है, अब तो मस्त मेरे को पैसा मिलेगा और लाइफ सेट है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. People have to learn each and every day technologies, business and everything. So that has to, even today also I am learning, after office I keep on learning, so that has to be done.
So true. So just on that note, I want to kind of ask, how do you keep yourself updated on a daily basis around data science or anything? Like what are the key resources that you can?
So one of the very important resources is LinkedIn.
Right.
Okay, so LinkedIn में I have created a very strong network. Strong network not in terms of numbers, but in terms of people who are part of my network, who keeps on sharing relevant info, blogs, videos, articles, research papers from in supply chain, e-com, retail, finance, all these things, and I keep on reading those things. I am also part of different LinkedIn groups. When I was in college, I was part of multiple Facebook groups, right, where I used to be very active. If people used to comment anything, I was like, how you can comment this if I am not agreeing to that? So that I have left aside. I am not worried because you can't change people's opinion. Right now I am into all these LinkedIn groups. People share good things. I keep on reading. And I also follow different resources, like there is some blogs like Towards Data Science, which I keep. It's a really good, wonderful website, and on Medium. There are YouTube channels which helps me in staying updated. In supply chain, there are different people on LinkedIn who keeps on sharing different things. Again, why I'm not mentioning some, if I can specify names, then there is some name is Omar or something like that, here to Omar, and I keep on also learning through Udemy, right? So there are different websites where I can learn. Blogs, there are blogs who keeps on writing different business things, right, related to finance, supply chain and e-com. So what is happening right now is, if you read 5 to 6 articles related to data science or e-com, तो news में वो बार-बार वही दिखने लगता है, right? So that ecosystem I have built. So you open my Google News, you open my LinkedIn, you open my YouTube, you open any of the channel or news or anything, you will see things related to areas where I am interested. So that's how I have built my ecosystem. Right.
Wonderful. So replacing Instagram and Facebook with LinkedIn,
yes.
and YouTube पे फालतू चीजें.
Yes, exactly. Yes, although I am very active on Instagram as well, because in my leisure time I like traveling, I like photography, I like videography, but I have created a system where I'm spending some time on my hobbies as well, right? So that's how I spent.
So. Just on the last note, we want to understand. Okay, so how do you become a productive data science professional? So what are some of the tips and tricks that you utilize, that you have learned over the past past years of your careers, that makes you a productive data science professional?
Yeah. So one of the very important thing that I would say is, when you are a beginner in data science journey, when you are just beginning, people should focus more on process than on end results. If you can optimize the process, end result is going to become in a right way for sure. Right. So focus on process. Do not take any shortcuts. how you can make your process better, that is of very prime importance. If you got some project, if I used to get some project, I used to think how I can use data science to deliver this project on time and with optimal result. Right. And not just basic Excel, right? So that is quite important, right? Not also to become a productive data science professional. As I said you, I keep on updating myself, right? I keep on learning things on a daily basis. If I learned something yesterday, then I keep on learning next new things tomorrow. So that is the next thing. Next thing is that you go if you go on my LinkedIn, I keep on adding people on a regular basis. That helps me. Those people helps me in keeping myself updated on latest trends, right? So, and probably sometime in future I might be also in that list where people connect with me to stay updated. But right now I'm not doing that, but I am right now connecting with such kind of people. So these kind of things I keep on doing. To become a very productive data science professional, I am very I would say that strict about timings, communication and transparency. I am very strict on that part, and I believe that these are the few traits that everyone should have. Should follow time, respect your time, respect communication and transparency. So these are the things that helps me in being very productive. Focus on the health, because sometimes if you do not focus on health, आप स्टार्टिंग में 1-2 साल बहुत ही काम कर लिए, घंटों घंटे काम कर लिए, 24 घंटे में आपने 15 घंटे 20 घंटे काम कर लिए. But after some time you may start having some problems in your neck, in your back, right? So focus on your health as well. Spend half an generic cheezein, right? So that is very important. Then only you can focus on other things.
That's so true. Okay, so just ending on the note, and just any final notes for the listeners out there.
I think for all kind of data science professional or who want to become a data science professional, I would suggest you to figure out a good mentor in your life. That is very important. At least a mentor who understands you, who can guide you, is of very prime importance. And he or she will solve all your problem. And that's all. Thank you so much.